Today we are in the wood shop because we are building ourselves a couple different carts. I've been thinking about a cart that would fit underneath here, something that I could use as an outfeed table. And I've decided after I went to the lumberyard the other day, I was looking at some of this stuff. I was like, I got all the wood here, I got all the lumber here, I got all the parts. I went to Tool, Northern Supply, picked those casters up, and the next thing is I am gonna start measuring, moving things around, and getting this going. So, hope you enjoy the process. Why am I not getting any work done right now? Well, because my brother-in-law wants to ride the scooter. And he went this direction, but it goes in a loop all the way around. Oh, here he comes. You can see him on the scooter right now. Just keep it going. There we go. I was actually surprised. I didn't think that thing would get going, but we threw some new gas in it and kicked it over and kicked it over and kicked it over. What we need to do is spend $20 and put a new battery in it and just, you know, start it up, be able to drive around. I have driven it down to the gas station down here. It only goes about 45 miles an hour, but it is, I mean, it'll go 45 if you're going downhill. It'll go 35 going uphill, that's way better than walking. So I think he's gonna do some laps around the neighborhood here. And it's a good way to spend the afternoon doing some stuff. Weather is fantastic right now. Got slightly overcast, perfect spring weather right now. Cannot beat it. Here he comes again. Let's see how fast he gets going. Look at that. Didn't even use his blinker. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the glue up on the legs. The next thing that I am going to be working on is trying to figure out exactly the dimensions for the base. So I already cut this for my top over here. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around what exactly I'm gonna do with the top and whether I'm gonna have a lip over the top or whether or not it's gonna be flush mount. I think right now, based upon what I know, I think I want it to be flush mount, okay? So that means base needs to be slightly smaller than the dimensions here. So next step is to find some 2x4 material. We got right back here. Start chopping that up to get that to the correct size. So I've got a couple different things going on. Number one is I am trying to turn this into a decorative cutting board for my wife's cousin. And number two, every time I want to go and do some routing or something like that on this, I'm like, I need a cart. So back to working on the cart. Gonna get that popping here. I've got a 2x4 I think I'm gonna shoot the top with, and then I've got these legs which I think I can assemble in their current state. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to affix these, though I do have a picture from when I was at the lumberyard, sawmill, however you want to describe it. The other thing is I'm missing, like, I don't know, one of my tools. Cannot figure out where it went. It's just to basically change the attachment on this, and I have no idea. I don't even remember the last time that I would have been grinding any steel with that. So I have a flat disc. Where'd I put that? Again, organization is the bane of my existence right now in here. So The goal is to fix that. We're getting things out of here, building another shed. Make that frustration go away. All right, I just had a flap disc. I have no clue. Here it is. This thing, I've got an old, more worn out flap disc that I used on the table, and I was trying to make a bowl with it and whatnot, but it would be perfect for this right here. Just knock a little off, because this is 40 grit. It's more like 100 grit right now, but what I am going to do is instead of that, I'm going to use my trusty palm sander, and we're going to knock that down. I've got a bunch of, see all the different sandpapers I've got here. We're going to use that on that. Oh, he's going back out on the scooter again for another round.
Oh, she's purring.
Well, this is what I have so far. I basically have a stack of, oh, they're back.
We made it.
So I got a stack top and bottom, and I think I'm gonna have to look at the height, but this is gonna sit somewhere here. I probably need to, next thing I need to do are cut some square plates for this, so that I can anchor this into it. Probably should have some 90s, kind of like this. Maybe it'll be a flat plate with a 90, then kind of glued and screwed to that as well. I'm gonna go back and look. I'm gonna go back and look at the picture, see if I can't figure that out. Okay, I've got it. These bottom, I'm gonna put basically, I'm gonna show you this. Boy, I could even do that on the bottom. And just put, this could be, I'm gonna do that, well. I think I've got enough plywood to do that. Much better than if I were to put just a piece right here, because then it doesn't allow it to flex, and it'll give it more structure to this whole thing if I just put this on the base and then just lock this down to it and put that on that side, and then top and bottom, you know, this is screwed on the inside and glued and screwed just the way that is. So I think that is what I am going to do. I am going to cut this to 48. I only need 2 of these, and I think I've got enough room out of this other one to cut it down. I'm an idiot. Why would I do it lengthwise? I could do it this way. Let's do that. I'm going to cut this down this way. 23 and a half. That makes a lot more sense. Can't believe there's a football game on right now and I'm doing this. Okay, so next step, I'm just gonna say, go with it, throw some screws in and see. I mean, worst case scenario, it breaks, I gotta put it back together differently. Not stressed about it one bit. I may not be able to get bit out of this, so. Pliers. Well, we definitely cobbled that together. I literally just found whatever lag bolts, screws, whatever I had. Some of these are anchored better, some of these are anchored worse. But I'm honestly not worried about this thing going anywhere, so let's see how she does. That I like, looks good. She rolls. These have probably dried long enough for me to pull them out. Check what my actual height is going to be. Start some assembly on this cart, but I like what I got already. Doesn't seem that big, but it's going to be nice. Well, we're getting that much closer to the full assembly here. The next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the top that we've got down here and throw it up there. I think I'm just gonna glue it and screw it the way it is, and then I am going to add the actual, or will actually put the top on this secondarily. So let's leave this how we got it. And let's get that top on there. Okay, well you can see we're in the final steps of construction. I'm just clamping everything down, giving it a little bit of glue for some structural integrity. I'm not really worried about it going anywhere or anything really happening from a structural standpoint right now, but it's an extra added precaution, and I've got the time and I've got the glue. I might as well get it going, so I hope you're enjoying this as much as I'm going to enjoy using it. So this is the whole reason that I built this table. So the question sometimes is, what's the story behind the story? This is what I'm going to be working on now. I'm going to do some routering on the edges, probably do a drip ledge, maybe on the inside. Going to experiment with that, but I set this up so that I could clamp it down and do some different stuff. I am going to pull down, I haven't pulled down these larger wooden clamps up here. Now I've got a spot. I can clamp them down here on my table, because normally I clamp all my other clamps on this edge over there to keep things organized. But let's hit this with some sandpaper and keep it moving. It's going to be a cutting board. Interesting. Let's keep it moving. thinking about putting like a drip ledge on this with the scoop bit, but I'm gonna test my jig first to make sure it'll work the way that I think I want. What I am gonna do, I'm gonna take this piece of plywood, put it on here, okay, and then my jig is gonna be this. I'm not gonna lie, I love how that turned out. Just that little bit of detail takes it, I think, over the edge, and then I'm just gonna hit it with some fine grit sandpaper. Next thing it's gonna get is some poly. And I think this is a fun little project, looks pretty neat. Just something a little bit more special than, hey, I got you a cutting board from IKEA, you know? Cool. Let's get sanding. Bring this all together, made this table so that I could make this cutting board. Cut this little grip edge in it. Love it. This is wood that originally, this is off the same tree we had out of the woods near the house. So I'm extremely pleased with how this went. I love this cart. I'm gonna be able to move that around the garage and work on other projects. So pretty excited about it. This went super well. Hope you guys enjoyed this project.